Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, we've been talking about it. It's the week of Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. When one of our heavyweight champions are fighting. One of them, the top three, Joshua, Wilder, even Fury, got that lineal championship. So we're going to talk about it when Joshua's fighting this week. He's fighting Andy Ruiz. We talked about Joshua, his mindset, right? He's not underestimating Ruiz. And, we're going to have to talk about Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz only lost once and very close against Joseph Parker. Many people know that. He's about 32-1, and ain't been knocked out or down, right? Only thing you got to say negative about Andy Ruiz is probably the fact that he was inactive after his Joseph Parker fight. About 15 months took off. But right now, he just had a fight against Dimitrenko and was able to go into another training camp. Okay, we know he got the fight against Anthony Joshua on short notice. For those that didn't know, Jarrell Miller didn't pass his dope test. None of them. Dope for everything. The question is what he wasn't dope for, which leads you to believe, well, you 300 pounds, which was advantage with that already, and you doped. Whatever with him for a minute, right? You got to do a whole lot of stuff to get back in the mix. Thing is, Andy Ruiz got to fight at short notice, but he's motivated. He was able to go from one training camp straight into the other one with only maybe about a week off, which is good for him. We all know how he looks, right? Doesn't seem to be the best trained, but, the insiders know he has fast hands and things like that. He can throw combinations, not one punch knockout power, but enough to respect. Right? So, let's check his mindset. First things first, he wants to be the first Mexican heavyweight champion ever. Right? We've seen that with Chris Arreola. Chris Arreola got very close. They gave him 2 shots at it. Didn't make it. Main Stavera got in the way of that, but he got close. So Andy Ruiz can be the first Mexican heavyweight champion. That is motivation in itself. Just that alone. Right? The opportunity has come for him, and he's ready to take it. He says a few things. He says, listen, this is going to be Anthony Joshua's biggest upset ever, right? Which, he's a 10-1 underdog. So, 10-1 underdog means it's an upset if the other dude wins. So it's going to be his biggest thing ever, He says, I hit harder than Jarrell Miller, and I'm faster. So for him, he's saying, hey, man, this is an upgrade. I'm an upgrade from Jarrell Miller. You know what I'm saying? So, he's like, I'm going to prove all the doubters wrong. That's his point of view. So he's going to let his hands go, and he's going to have fun in there, right? And you're going to have to believe him. He said he didn't let his hands go as much as he thought he should have against Joseph Parker. He doesn't want to let that happen again. So that leads us to believe, if Joshua's going to beat this guy, he's going to have a good showing, but Joshua has done that 22 times. So, he's an underdog. 10-1, that's a little bit much, to be honest with you. 10-1 might make me want to put something on it like I did on that Joseph Parker fight. Luckily, I hedged that fight. I don't really bet. But when I saw 8-1 odds with Joshua and Joseph Parker, I just said, what? I had to do that. It's 10-1, that might not, but who knows what I'm going to do in the next day or two. But I think that your boy has the right mindset. He's going in here to do some things, and there's a possibility. It's only one thing, that you can say, well, not one thing, a few things you could say about Andy Ruiz where you don't think he's going to win the fight. He was inactive up until recently. That's one thing. His resume is not great, right? It's not great. It's not like he's got a whole bunch of, people on his resume that he beat. When you even look at he only had a unanimous decision against Sergei Lyokovich, right? So Lyokovich is probably one of the people call cab drivers or bin men. That's what Anthony Joshua was saying, or bums or whatever. Lyokovich, although he was a champion before, beat Briggs, I think it was. But, it depends on how you look at it. Was a unanimous decision win over Lyokovich good? Because Andy Ruiz did it. But then when he's flatlined and convulsing on the floor when Wilder does it, then he's a bum. So I don't really know how you would judge that. I think it's a good win. But, he doesn't have great wins on his resume, but he's respected. So, that's the only thing you can say. I do think he's going to make a good fight here. I do think that. Or you're going to have to see Anthony Joshua do something awesome, to beat him. And when you have these fights, it's very important to see what is the challenger? What is his mindset? We just had that fight with Wilder and Dominic Breazeale. Dominic Breazeale's mindset was that which he showed in the fight. Totally his mindset. His mindset before the fight was Deontay Wilder's supposed to be fighting in cruiserweight. He's too little. I ain't letting no cruiserweight beat me and push me around. That was his point. And when you watch the fight, Deontay Wilder came there, boom, hit him on the right and rushed him with all that wild stuff. Counter right hand from Dominic Breazeale got Deontay Wilder up off of him. And Deontay Wilder had to reset. Dominic Breazeale kept getting hit, kept shaking his head, saying, no, it ain't nothing. This cruiserweight ain't knocking me out. Until they woke him up and told him, hey, dog, the cruiserweight knocked you out. But his belief was that ain't happening. And that's how he fought. So the people coming in here, among others, Teddy Atlas talking about we supposed to have head movement and all that. He ain't never had that. His mindset was I ain't having no cruiserweight beat me. Right? That's how he fought. Period. So his mindset was good, but it just didn't work out for the man. Now, Andy Ruiz is like, I'm about to be the first Mexican heavyweight. Joshua ain't going to be able to keep me up off of him. Bottom line. Right? So, and another thing, when you think about, man, Mexico, man, you kind of wish they can get a heavyweight champion. You know what I mean? Because you would have 3 belts, right? You would wish they can get that because they've been close, with Areola. And the same thing, by the way, while we're talking about it, I'd be Poland too. Poland, because back in the day, Andre Galata, I think he was beating Riddick Bowe twice. He just chilled out. He couldn't keep himself chilled. I was a little, Andre Galata, I was hoping just things happened for him. And to a lesser extent, Thomas Adamic, he was too small moving up to heavyweight, but he had some skills. Poland got close too, but we ain't talking about Poland right now. I'm just saying Mexico would be able to do that. That would be awesome for them to do that. So, you're kind of going for the underdog and the fact that he can be the first Mexican heavyweight. And the out of shape dude, one for the fat guys. You know what I mean? So you kind of going for him a little bit, right? Yeah, Anthony Joshua too, because you hope that Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder fight, you can get those huge fights. So who knows who you're going for? Now, when you're looking at a few other things now, right? I'm gonna mention because I just did a video by Eddie Hearn, bringing fights. Now, your boy, not Chris Arreola, but your boy, Ruiz, Andy Ruiz, he said this, best thing in his life that just happened was him leaving Top Rank and Bob Arum and going over to PBC and Al Heyman. It's the biggest thing in his life, is what he said. Now that's quoting, okay? Biggest thing. Leaving Top Rank, Bob Arum, going over to Al Heyman. Haven't we heard this before, right? Thanking Al Heyman for the opportunity. Boom. Al Heyman can mess around if he just do beat Joshua and be, the advisor to him and Deontay Wilder, have the heavyweight division on lockdown. There's also a side element. But it's just to show you, that that's somebody else. When I say Eddie Hearn is handling his business, people like Bob Arum make mistakes all the time. Fighters are leaving, getting well educated, getting paid, understanding the business, and they're doing this through Al Heyman, and they're all thanking him. And there are no unsatisfied customers for Al Heyman. The last was your boy Mata Rosen. Linus Mata Rosen was the only one who had said something negative about your boy Al Heyman. And he has come out in the last 2 or 3 months and said that was the worst mistake of his life. And if Al Heyman would take him back, he would go gladly. Right? Which means Al Heyman's record is unblemished. Now, he's not a promoter, but he's an advisor. And he's obviously advising these guys correctly. There's nobody that's dissatisfied. That is the man that's actually running things. Right? And that's the man who you don't even see. Right? So that's the real man. But there's some other ones that's decent. Right? The other ones that's decent. But this guy here is fighters first. And that's why he's rolling. So that's another side element with the Andy Ruiz Jr. thing. I think Andy Ruiz Jr.'s mindset is exactly where it needs to be. Does that mean he beat Anthony Joshua? We're going to have to see. Doing Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.